Ten impossible NBA body transformations you hadn't noticed. In the NBA, players all have otherworldly skills. Not all have otherworldly bodies. Let's face it, some of their bodies are just worldly. Bodies you don't have to travel outside of the dining room at Thanksgiving to find. Now, even the players with that uncle physique still got game, but it's more common to see players in great shape. And regardless of where their starting point was, some of these players transform their bodies into a whole new body. Some players have had some crazy transformations that you might not have noticed if you weren't paying attention. And at least one on our list could be a real shocker to you because that particular individual has had a lot of transforming going on. So be sure to stay tuned for the end of the video, subscribe to the channel, and also like the video if you like showing support for body transformations, positive and negative. First up on our list, Melo Man. With more versions of himself to transform into than Mega Man, Carmelo Anthony has been transforming his entire basketball career. Entering the NBA in 2003 as a skinny kid, Melo started in Denver. His latter Denver years and into his New York years, Melo did some beefing up. One of his new superpowers he acquired, the power of throwing your weight around. Melo's post-game got all the more vicious. In his latter years, now with the Portland Trail Blazers, he now goes by Skinny Melo, a more lean, probably just as mean, posting up and shooting from the elbow machine. To see a player in their latter years slim down like this is impressive. Paying close attention to diet and keeping a strict workout regimen are key factors for this second transformation. On a side note, if you're lucky enough, you may see one of Melo's other rare transformations. Like a werewolf takes to a full moon, Melo takes to the Olympics and becomes the unstoppable Olympic Melo, a perfectly oiled basketball machine. And when he steps into the right gym, he may transform into Hoodie Melo, the non-stop bucket getter. But remember, these are temporary transformations from which he always returns. No more love, Randalls. Julius Randle started with the Lakers, and he never quite achieved the big star status that many in LA have. He did, however, always have that big boy status. This big boy wasn't in search of his own Andre 3000 to start a rap duo, but more in search of the right fit to the right team. He bounced around a couple of times to New Orleans, then to New York. And Randle was always a good big for his teams to play when they needed someone to push around under the hoop. The problem was, Randle wasn't exactly in the best basketball shape when you think of stamina. Now, this is no longer a problem. Randle chiseled away at his physique, and he either sprouted several new muscles or they were hiding all along underneath the surface. Whatever the case, Julius Randle is now in tip-top condition. Following a good diet and workout routine is a task that's simpler when you move from somewhere named the Big Easy to the Big Apple. If it's city nicknames that have aided Randle in his diet, let's hope for his sake he never gets traded to the Bucks in Cream City. Prehistoric Diet. Back in 2015, the Toronto Raptor Kyle Lowry made a significant change to his body. He reportedly dropped over 15 pounds in one offseason with a new workout routine and by changing up his diet. Now, we don't know if the Raptor went on the paleo diet or something else prehistoric, but whether he's eating like a caveman or a dinosaur or something else, it worked. But if he emulated the eating habits of the peak physical condition team mascot, then he may be onto something. A strategy that would work with the Raptors, perhaps not so much with a team like the Grizzlies. His body fat percentage dropped, he was slimmer, more agile, faster, but still kept that bulldog mentality he's had over the years. With his new physique, he was looking more like Lowry and Bad Boys. That is, Mike Lowry. But whether he's shooting bad guys or shooting threes, he looks good doing it. The Slim Spaniel. Another Toronto Raptor, though a former Raptor, Marc Gasol is no stranger to an extreme body transformation. He was teammates with Lowry for a bit. Who knows if he picked up some pointers while in Canada, like how to hunt in packs, how to open doors, or maybe Lowry had some non-Jurassic Park tips for Gasol. Also, we hope Gasol picked up the door opening bit somewhere along the way before he hit his 30s. Gasol was always a big guy, throwing his weight around on offense and defense. His style of play proved effective, but the NBA was changing and moving away from the classic big guy. Gasol decided to change with the NBA and shed a lot of weight. Still a big guy, but much more slimmed down. Gasol is leaner and faster with a complete all-around game for a big guy. He took his new frame and left for Los Angeles. We'll see if he can keep up the Raptor physique in LA. Ironically, Gasol looked more grizzly in Memphis, Raptor-esque in Toronto. If looking Laker-like means retaining water weight, then we hope Gasol just pretends he is still a Raptor. Is the Joker in? When the NBA's 2019-20 season got put on a hold, everyone had a good idea what Nikola Jokic looked like. An excellent hooper by all means. Don't let the body fool you. As a big guy, he had an impressive skill set, but he wasn't the body type getting picked first in a pickup game. When the NBA restarted in the bubble in Orlando, a lot of other players showed up. Some opted out, and half of Nikola Jokic showed up. But he informed everyone this was all that was left of the Joker. He slimmed down tremendously, giving himself a bit more speed and bounce to his step. Now, the Batmans of the NBA have to game plan a little differently for this Joker. Hopefully he keeps this going through his career because the transformation seemed to help his performance a lot in the bubble as he and the Nuggets stunned the Clippers when they came back from being down 3-1 to win their playoff series. A slimmer, faster big guy with an outstanding shot is the new card every NBA team wants to play. If everyone is playing poker, then the Nuggets are lucky because Jokers are wild. Pace yourself. Next, we'll take a look at the most impressive transformation out of Indiana since... Okay, we can't think of any other transformations out of Indiana. So congratulations, Miles Turner. You are number 1 in the Hoosier State. Miles Turner has played each year of his NBA career for the Pacers and has been a key figure in their outstanding defense and a big reason why they have made the playoffs every year he's been with them. At 6'11", he's a towering presence, a big man you don't want to mess with. But that was also part of the problem. He's a big man. One of his opponents could tire him out easily. Turner had admitted to eating fast food, fried food, pizza, and more during his seasons. Can you blame him? He lives in the Midwest, fried food capital of the U.S., and Indiana is smack dab in the middle of the Fry Belt. Indiana may be credited with being one of the jumping off points for the history of basketball, but it's never been confused as the birthplace of diet and healthy eating. Even the team name Pacers derived from a race car that doesn't go at breakneck speeds, rather it sets the pace. If Turner wanted to turn the corner on his health, he would have to ignore his surroundings and make a concerted effort himself. And that he did. In the 2018-19 season, he returned after trimming his body fat percentage from 14% to 7%. He saw arguably his best year, including him being the NBA blocking champion with a league best 2.7 blocks per game. Turner thanks a diet change, workout change, and adding in some yoga to contributing to his stellar transformation. He more than chiseled away his freshman 15. He dropped his entire Indy 500. Greek god status. Zeus is the god of thunder, Poseidon is the god of the sea, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is the god of basketball. You likely didn't hear much about Giannis in your Greek mythology courses, as he had yet to undergo his extravagant transformation. Giannis started in Milwaukee, aka the Greece of the Midwest, and he was just a skinny kid with potential. Over time, that potential manifested into elite-level play, and his body manifested into that of perfection. Already having the height, speed, and drive, Giannis added strength, bulk, and a vast set of basketball skills. He came into the league barely more than just a prospect. Now he is a dominant force that requires extensive game planning by opponents. Too fast for those of his size, and too big for those of his speed. His Achilles heel? Probably just because he doesn't have his own story discussed in English classes. Not yet anyway. Give this Greek freak some time. Okra 4. The vegan diet has been making its way to more and more professional athletes' doorsteps. One NBA star that switched over to the vegan diet was Jahlil Okafor, and this was no small task for Okafor, as he was a New Orleans Pelican at the time. All the po' boys he'd be missing out on, all the gumbo, all the beignets. But Okafor dedicated himself to the diet, and he saw massive results. Shedding fat, defining muscle, Okafor morphed his body into a lean, green machine. He now has more energy, more stamina, and now that he plays for Detroit, we're guessing he also has less temptation, even if only slightly less. Your parents always told you to eat vegetables. Now you see they weren't joking. Okafor is showing us the right way to get your Popeye on, trading in Popeye's chicken for spinach. With Popeye's ripped muscles, his girl olive oil, and his baby sweet pea, were cartoons trying to give us a secret we're all looking for? Zion National Parkour. Okay, we don't know if Zion Williamson actually took up parkour, but he must have done something drastic to transform his body the way he did. Zion came into the NBA astoundingly as the new second heaviest player in the entire league. Considering at 6'6", there are plenty of players taller than him. That's no minor fact. Anyone who has seen him play knows that even with all that weight, he is still so fast and an explosive jumper and dunker. His game defies physics and logic. No one shaped like him should be able to move the way he does. However, one downside was that he was a bit more prone to injury with that extra weight. In an effort to get a little less top-heavy, Zion did a massive overhaul on his body, burning a reported 25 pounds of fat and adding on 10 pounds of muscle. His scary game is only gonna get scarier. He got faster and still managed to get stronger. Maybe it wasn't the parkour method, maybe it was the Parker method. As in Peter Parker. We all saw what that spider bite did to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. Who's to say it couldn't happen again? Be on the lookout for any clues, like Zion restringing a basketball net himself, or Robert Downey Jr. sitting courtside at a Pelicans game. And finally, the last person on our list, from Harden to Soften. This was already one of the more impressive transformations for an NBA player. James Harden went from fairly skinny, relatively beardless, and great bench player / sixth man of the year in OKC to a more built, more bearded star player / MVP in Houston. Those are transformations in size, facial hair, and overall game. The holy trifecta. Harden worked hard on his body, adding tons of muscle. He worked hard on his game, perfecting his moves. He worked hard on his facial hair situation, resisting the shave for months. That is pure dedication. And if that wasn't already enough of a transformation, Harden then decided to take it to another level. This one seeming to come with the "please trade me" plea getting denied. Harden began to attempt to eat himself out of Houston. This is by no means a fat shaming. This is actually one of the most unique and clever chess moves an NBA player has ever pulled. Harden was gaining mass, and not muscle mass, in hopes Houston would be forced to trade him off the team. So it appears that or Harden was so turned off by last year's super small ball failure, he's trying to stray as far away from that as possible. Lo and behold, a combination of his new transformation, along with complaining and plenty of other things, and Harden finally got his trade wish. He was sent off to the Nets. He got what he wanted, and for his sake, we hope he can pull off another transformation in the coming months. Otherwise, the Nets may have mistakenly just traded to get the Jets' next star offensive lineman. Comment and let us know what you think on Harden as a left tackle or on anything else. Which transformations impressed you the most? And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more of your NBA favorites.